Hello, everyone. This is a very quickly thrown together script, if script at all. Basically, I want to talk to you guys about MxR Plays and this whole business with Genies Media. Firstly, if you haven't heard already, they released a video several days ago about how they were being extorted over 4 specific videos that Genies Media alleged had contained copyrighted material, and that MxR Plays was at risk of losing their channel that has 850k plus followers if they didn't agree to Genies Media's terms to pay them $6,000. Well, after an immense outpouring of internet support, Genies Media has apparently backpedaled. Here is MxR Plays' video.
Alright guys, we have an update on the Genies Media situation. We made a video a few days ago. You might have seen it.
Might have.
It got over 1.5 million views. So it completely exploded. I think a lot of media outlets even covered it. I think we made like BBC or something.
Which blew our minds.
It was like, very frightening.
Whoa.
Yeah. To have a lot of media outlets reach out to me.
Yeah, I imagine that when actual news agencies, corporate news agencies, catch wind of your story, it is probably rather shocking considering you don't quite realize how much 850,000 followers on a site can be, how significant that can be.
Never happened before. You guys really helped spread the word, awareness, and pretty much tons of YouTube channels covered it. Yangya, Upper Echelon,
The Quartering.
The Quartering.
That is a lot of people covering that. That's 3 people, one of which I know, The Quartering. I don't know the other ones, but well, that's what happens when you post something that honestly would affect all YouTube creators, or at least it's something that we all can get behind. Yeah, you can expect a large outpouring of other YouTubers feeling the same way you do.
The flip side of that is you guys are very scary.
So, yeah.
Very, very scary.
Well, of course we're scary. We're the internet. What did you expect?
We've learned that Genie should never cry, because when she cries,
all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
And I did not know that, which I think I told Henry this, but I have told myself I am not crying in this video.
I feel like we need
I hate to bring this up, but when a cute girl who is wholesome in the eyes of the viewers is sad, you can pretty much expect the internet to rally behind that. It's not so out of the realm of possibility or understanding.
We need to harness the power of her cries into several gemstones and spread them throughout the galaxy.
They're like the Thanos. They are the Infinity Stone.
I think Jukin definitely felt the rage.
Genies Media should have felt the rage. It was an enraging thing.
I'm all for the reasonable emails
and what we think that
and complaints to Jukin.
Yes, what we still believe what they did was unfair. But the part where we heard that people were getting doxxed, like personal private information of employees and the executive board of that company were being like released, like that part we did not like and were scared. So
I do want to bring this part up, and actually that comment is actually the crux of the rest of the video that I wanted to talk about. The executive board of Genies Media is public information. It is on their website. You can see their pictures. You can see their names. Most other information that you'd imagine related to those names is easily accessible through public record on the internet. This is not doxing. I want to make that very clear. When you decide to post up public information, expect the public to know that information. If the public does not readily know that information, the rapid dissemination of that information through the internet is not doxing. As long as it's public to start with, that was your decision. To follow up on that, you would be surprised when you put your name and face out there how easy it is to find publicly available information. Just want to point that one out.
They actually welcomed negotiation, which is a great thing because we're willing to work together. We had a talk. We came to a resolution I'm very happy with. Genie is very happy with. Jukin is very happy with. I think in the end, it all worked out.
Yes, of course. Everyone's happy with this resolution. Of course, MxR is happy with the resolution. Jukin, quote-unquote, being happy with the resolution is probably a stretching of the truth, but a resolution was met. And the thing is, I don't want to downplay what MxR got out of the deal. They got what they wanted. They didn't get extorted. They worked out a resolution with the company. And I want to point out that I do feel bad using them as basically the catalyst to this conversation, but I feel like I have to do it because it's been a pervasive thing through most YouTube content creators. There used to be this thing on 4chan that said, B is not your personal army. And I have mentioned this before in another video I've done. Arguably, it's still true. Calling upon the internet for any one particular thing doesn't always work. Lately, however, it does, especially with the rise of Twitter over the past few years. Most will know I'm not really a fan of Twitter. I go on occasionally, but I will not deny it has its benefits. In this case, the contacting of creators and sharing of information, well, it happened on Twitter. Facebook, maybe, but mostly Twitter and YouTube. I wouldn't doubt Discord also played a role, but what I mean is, the internet is now someone's personal army. The question is, in this analogy, who leads that army? Well, no one really. Let's say that the internet gets behind a cause because someone brought it up, and then they are met with resistance to that cause. Well, that original person who brought up the cause is no longer in control of those people who are now defending the cause. And depending on how certain online battles are fought, things can explode in a multitude of different ways. Kick Vic and I Stand With Vic is kind of like that. But I argue it was never started by Vic Mignogna himself, but rather by the Kick Vic side, and the resistors of that ideology have formed up behind certain generals, so to speak. For the most part, it's pretty tame from the I Stand With Vic side. It didn't start that way, though. At the pinnacle, there was some harsh goings-on. Nothing crazy, but definitely harsh. This brings me back to the video where I had stopped before when Ginny had said, "You guys are scary." Yes, the internet is very, very scary. And you should be careful of what kind of cause you encourage them to rally behind. Because at the end of the day, you actually don't get to choose what people do once they have a goal in mind. You might have an idea and you might have a general end result, but the way that they get there is usually not what anybody entails. So, them coming out and saying, well, we don't condone this kind of behavior. Yes, of course you don't. That's what YouTube creators say. You don't condone the harsh, the heavy-handed, the what some would consider unethical behavior of the internet. But you don't control the internet. And this is a very important thing because several people in the past, even those with the largest of followings, have tried to quell the internet. It doesn't work. And it's not their fault. I want to make that very clear. It's not their fault. The internet decides what it wants to do. People decide what they want to do. The internet itself is not evil, per se. But it can be used for evil. It can also be used for good. If you rally a bunch of people behind a cause, and they fundamentally and emotionally agree with that cause, you will find that they will fight tooth and nail to protect it, even if that means that they do unethical things. Because in their mind, though two wrongs don't make a right, karmic justice is something that they can bring forth. They can dish it out. There are some circumstances where karmic justice should be exacted. Maybe this one isn't that case, but let's say there was an article about a person who killed somebody's dog, and then that person then rammed the dog killer into a wall with their vehicle. Most people wouldn't be too upset. For the loss of the dog, yes. For the loss of the person, nah, probably not. But there are certain circumstances where a certain amount of force is warranted against people who do bad things. It's a kind of karmic retribution that people without the same kind of moral or ethical code will try and go after. So let this be a warning to most, if not all, other people. Be wary of how you rally the internet behind a cause. You may find that they are much more passionate about it than you had anticipated. But that's all I have for you guys. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you guys have a good night. I'll see y'all soon.